All right, in the studios this afternoon with us is True. He's a rap artist. Every now and then we like to take a look at our young people because much is being said about our young people, what they aren't and are not doing. But here is someone who's very positive and wanted to spend some time to talk with him. Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Mr. Don. How about you?
I can't complain. I described you as a young person who was very positive. Did I accurately gauge you?
I would hope that I could say yes to that.
So, where are you from?
I'm from Columbia, but really outside the city limits, near Hopkins.
Oh, so you're down in Hopkins now?
Yeah, well, not now, but okay. That's where I was born and raised at. But now I stay in the Broad River area now.
Oh, okay. So how did you get interested in hip hop?
Well, I've always been musical ever since I can remember, but when I actually got into rap, I would say like probably 8th grade, something like that, 'cause back then there was a song that was real popular called Crank That. And so I was just being silly, making up my own versions of it, writing it out and doing it to the class, and they was liking it. And then around, I say, 10th grade or 9th grade, I started actually making my own original songs. But to say like when I got serious with it, I would say 10th or the later part of 11th grade, 'cause I'm the kind of person, like, I don't want to do something just to be doing it. So I spent a lot of time just basically trying to see what my purpose is and asking God, like, what am I supposed to do? Leaving a wide open door for him to say anything, and every time it's always music. So
how would you define your music?
It's just hip-hop with a message. And I sing too, so when I sing, I would just call it soul music, 'cause soul music, like, you know, Bobby Womack and Willie Hutch and...
You don't know nothing.
Sam
Bobby
Cooke
Womack,
and Johnny Taylor and all those people, their music, they were saying something in their music, they were just singing it, and their style and all that was different. So that's my singing style. So when I sing, I would call it soul, but when I rap, I call it hip-hop with a message, and it's clean and everything.
You said clean. A lot of people today think rap music has been the destruction of our young people because of the way women have been disrespected, the way you have four-letter words, the videos, and to a lot of people, when you talk about hip-hop and rap, although if you know the evolution of it, you know it has nothing to do with that, but that's what it has come to be in the eyes of a lot of people. So some people will look at you and say, okay, you're a part of that.
Well, I mean, if all that is what they would have in their mind and look at me or just hear like, oh, okay, he's a rapper, and automatically do that, then I would say that's bad on their part because they're not even giving it a chance. They're not even listening to the music to really see what it really is. They're just speculating off of what their own perceptions. But even off of music, like, I'll just name a couple artists that probably people think fall into like what you were saying just now. Like, some people would put Tupac in there, T.I. in there, DMX in there, and all those artists, I, one, like their music, but two, I'm influenced by them. And I think it's just, you have to, one, understand that where these people coming from, like their environments and how they were raised up, all of that goes into how they express themselves and what they say in their music. But two, also try to understand the person where they are, not where you are, because they might not be thinking the way that you think in terms of like how they put words together or messages they get out. Like Tupac, he he cussed and all that stuff and had some elements of the whole street stuff in his music, but one, that's because that's what he came from. But even within that, he had positive stuff, and that's like
he did
the core of him as a person and the core of like his music. So that's what his music is really about. And even when he explains his music, he always says it's just about the oppressed coming up against the oppressor. So that's positive music.
So what's the core of True and what's the core of his music?
The core of me and my music is showing that being real, or like keeping it real, being true to yourself, walking in love and integrity and dignity and respect, that all of those things are something that everybody should strive to do. No one's perfect, so I mean, it's a struggle in a way for all of us, but we can, as long as we're all trying to reach that and do that, I believe that we can help have a better life for ourselves individually and collectively as a people. Other than that, I mean, I try to give messages of inspiration and motivation in my music and talk about some of my own personal feelings and struggles too. So that's really the core of my music: honesty and truth and just reality.
And you talk about music with a message.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of, there have been a lot of great artists who have music with messages, rap artists. I'm thinking about Grandmaster Flash and The Message.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first ones. So what is your message all about?
My message
how does what's happening in society today reflects you?
Well, I mean, I put out a song back a while ago called The People, which I actually got an official music video for that now on YouTube. You can just search my name, 2RU3, which is pronounced True, and you'll see it on there. But in that song, I'm talking about society and what's going on, but instead of taking the approach which I feel is mostly taken by a lot of people, which is, to point the finger at this person or this system or this legal structure or whatever, I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with, acknowledging the wrongs in others' actions. But we also, as a people, have to look at our own selves and our own actions instead of just always looking out at someone else to make the change or do something while we sit back and wait for the change to happen. We have to become a part of that change. No matter how small or big we feel our part may be, we still have to do something.
Is that a message that resonates with young people?
I can't speak for all young people.
Well, maybe not all young people, but in terms of your CDs reflect that message, and I'm wondering, how do young people respond to it?
I performed that song. I've actually performed that song at the Lower Richland Sweet Potato Festival, and I performed it in KC, Atlanta, and Camden. And everywhere I performed it, I mean, the people are getting with it. Like when the chorus hits, this is for the people. They're saying it, and from the youngest to the oldest, they really like the message. So I guess I would have to say yeah, because most people that hear that song and I perform it for them, they like, that's really real. I really like that message in the song and everything. So what is, this is your first, it's not your first song, but it's the one you've released. What is the message in that song? The People is just about, like I said earlier, let's stop pointing the finger at everybody else and like waiting for whatever it is you want them to do to be the end-all solution of fixing everything, because we've been doing that for years before I was even born, so it ain't never worked, so it's not ever gonna work. So I'm saying that we need to look within ourselves too, like where are some things in us individually and collectively as a people in the community, what are some things we're allowing or we're not allowing, or we're doing, or how we're raising our kids, or what we say around our kids, or examples we set for our kids, whatever it is, stuff like that. What things are we doing in those areas or not doing in those areas that are helping contribute to the problems that we see going on. That's what I'm saying, and whatever those things are, let's work to change them however we can.
So what have you seen around you that would cause you to reflect that message in this particular song?
Well, I mean, after watching the news over the years and just listening to people talk about situations as we hear about them and they come out, interacting with people on a daily basis and just conversations you have. And I guess when I wrote that song, it's just all of those things I've experienced and still see today that just came out of me when I started writing those words. And I feel that song is the truth, because I mean, that's like one of the main things about my music. I want to do my best to tell the truth. I don't want to say an opinion or something that doesn't really have any weight. I want to, whatever I put out and whatever I say, I want it to be like, you can't get around it. It is that. That's the truth. So that's what I would have to say about that.
So are you trying to, well, I guess all music is supposed to uplift and change people. At least it once was. Black music, I'm not so, but anyway. So what ultimately is it that you're trying to do with your music? And you've already released for the people. What are you looking at now doing?
Well, what I'm trying to do basically with my music is, one, of course, inspire people to do the right thing, encourage the younger people like my age and lower, show them that, you know, hey, you can do good things, you can have nice things, you can be successful in what you're trying to be successful in, but all that foolishness and all that, like, negative stuff that we sometimes get into and following the crowd just because we want to be cool or just because we want to be down or because somewhere in our life we're lacking some kind of feeling of belonging, and so because we want to belong, we get with this certain crowd of people because we feel like we belong. We don't have to do any of that. Just be yourself, which is one reason my name is True, because that's another concept behind that. Just being yourself, be true to you, do what you feel, do what you feel inside. Don't live a life where it's all about what somebody else is telling you or conforming yourself to what someone says is cool or says is real or whatever. Stick with what's really real and what's really true and what's really the right thing to do. There's nothing lame about telling the truth. There's nothing lame about actually trying to do something with your life. There's nothing lame about, you know, going to school and actually passing and actually, you know, if you want to go to college, actually going there and succeeding in that and doing bigger and better things in your life so you can change not only your life, but maybe your parents' life or one of your homeboys' life or whatever it is. All of that, that's what's really real.
Talking with True, he's a hip-hop artist with positive message to get out. And are you basically where young people are today, or are you an exception?
I think it depends what you're talking about.
I mean, no, because I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of people, I hear it all the time, think, especially our young men, are just lost. No, I mean, really, seriously. And they use the music to reflect that sentiment. So I'm asking you, do you feel that most young men today, your age, or where you are, in terms of what you were trying to reflect in the music, are...
That's kind of a tough question.
I know it is. I just thought I'd ask anyway.
I don't know if I would say I feel like most of people my age are where I'm at and doing what I'm trying to do, but I definitely will say that I do know there are others like me who are trying to actually be something. I definitely would say I'm an exception when it comes to like the people that feel like, oh, all young black men or whatever negative thing they want to say. Yeah. I do definitely say that I'm an exception to that, because I'm all about trying to actually be something. I have no interest in living a life where I'm like in a negative cycle, and I'm talking about doing these things, but I'm never actually doing my part to try to put in the work to see these good things come to pass. I'm not about that at all. I really hate, one thing I really hate just across the board is like wasting time, whether it's relationships, whether it's what seems to be an opportunity, or whatever it is. I don't like wasting my time. So like I said earlier with this music, I'm not just doing this to do it. I'm not just rapping to rap because I can rap. I'm not just putting a message out so, because it's a message and it sounds good. I'm not doing it for any of those reasons. I'm doing this because it's in me. I was born with this, and I know that probably sounds cliche, but it really is. Anybody that really knows me for real, they will say like, the music is just in me. I don't need musicians, or I don't need a beat to start playing for me to start doing something musical, because I can just be walking down the street. There's nothing going on musical at all, and just out of the blue, a random rhythm or sound will come to me, and I just make up something out of that.
So let's talk about For the People. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you had inside of you for a long time and just bursting to get out? Or did you just, it's a song here, I'll just put it out? I mean, it
definitely wasn't that.
Well, I know, but I was just wondering, because there's a heavy message in this song, and right. I'm just wondering, is that song, was that something you have been carrying around inside of you, and you said at the first instance, because this is what I feel I need to do at this point?
I would say no to that. It definitely wasn't like something I was holding on to and waiting for the opportunity when I'm able to do it. It definitely wasn't that, because like all those words, all those things that I wrote and said in that song, that's never even been in my head. Like I've never heard those phrases before until the day I was actually writing that. I would say like certain feelings that go with the song, like just the feeling about people always pointing the finger instead of looking at themselves. I'll say that's a feeling I've had before, but the way that song came together, I mean, because I make my own music too, so when I made that instrumental and I'm just listening back to it, and I'm vibing and writing to it, that's what I kept getting from it, just those words and the feeling that it gave me. That's just what happened.
How long did it take you to write it?
I actually don't remember, because I initially wrote it in 2014, and then I released it as a single in 2015, and I just put out the music video August 8th of this year. So if I had to guess, I would say maybe a day. I imagine a song like that, I probably wrote the first verse and probably waited or something. Maybe I hit a block and just took a break and then came back the next day and finished it.
So is all your music that easy? Comes to you that easy? You just, wow, let me just sit down and write this, and then 40 minutes later, I'll go get something to eat. I'm finished.
Well, it's not like the words just hit me. It's the music. The music
comes first.
Yeah, the music dictates what I write. Like that beat, it made me feel a way that made me write those words. But I have other songs on the project that song is on, which is on iTunes and all that right now. I have other songs, and those beats make me feel different ways. Like one song I have called "Been There For Me," and the beat on that song made me feel like I wanted to talk about situations I've been in where I felt like people that were supposed to be either my friends or whatever, they weren't treating me in ways that is synonymous with being a friend. And I felt that within those situations, God was there for me. So that's what I talked about on that song. And then I have another song where it's called Hip Hop Still Living. And on that one, I'm talking about, remember the old music, that you love, that has that message and stuff. I'm saying in that song, well, this song and me as an artist, in general, that's what I'm about, like that message and that good music and that real music that really means something and all of that. That's what I'm about, and that's what this song is about. So that's what I'm talking about all in that song.
So most of your music, well, let me ask you this first. How do you come up with your beats?
Kind of like the way I explained earlier about not needing musicians or a beat to be playing. Like how I'm sitting here right now, I could hear, it can be it don't matter what the sound is, but it could be like a guitar riff, just come to me randomly, go off in my mind, and I'll be humming that, and I'll record it in my phone, and I'll go where I go to do my music, and I'll make it, add other instruments and stuff to it too, or it could just be drums, just kicks and snares and hi-hats, a rhythm, and I'll remember that and do that. Or it could be a synth, I do that. Or it could be just a key riff, playing keys, whatever it is, whether it's rolls or like a grand piano. Whatever the rhythm is, it just randomly come to me and I remember it, and then I go back and put everything together with that main thing, the drums and whatever else.
Do you play an instrument?
Not like professionally or traditionally trained in one, but the only one I really mess around with frequently is a piano. Anything with keys, I can make up my own stuff on it. Yeah,
Miles Davis told Dizzy Gillespie that he needed to learn how to. He at least needed a fundamental or rudimentary understanding of the piano, because all the notes are there.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier to compose music on the piano.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that.
So where does True go now? Okay, you have for the people. Where are you trying to go with that, and what's happening with that?
Well, where I'm trying to go is, I'm trying to be, one of those great, successful artists that hopefully 20 years or 30 years from now, not that I'll be dead or that I won't be doing music still, but that 20 or 30 years from now, people will be like, man, True is one of those great artists that we have, just like we talk about Snoop Dogg, or we talk about Tupac, or we talk about Ice Cube. I would hope that I end up being one of those, because it's not just about like me or True, like the artist making it. It's not about that. I do want to make the money from that, but the money that I make, most of it is going just to making more music, and then other things I hope to do through hopefully being that successful is putting that money in things like in the community, helping against, hunger, or helping against people being homeless and helping them get in programs where they can get themselves on their own 2 feet and all of that. Like, that's what I want to do in my music in the wide scope of things. But on the way to that, right now, I got this project out for the beginning, and I have CDs of that coming, should be this week or next week. I'll be selling those for $10 to go towards my next project. And actually tomorrow I got a new project coming out called True Styling Revisited. I don't know if any young people are listening right now, but if they are, they probably heard of a site called Dat Piff. It's a mixtape site. It's going to be on there tomorrow at 6 p.m. for free, so you don't have to log in or pay any money. But it's going to be on there, and later it's going to be on Spinrilla and My Mixtapes. But it's 5 songs, and I would like to have CDs of that too.
What is a mixtape?
Well, I know like the original mixtape like is a compilation of different songs that someone put together and all of that. But a mixtape in these days is like at least the way I'm doing it, I have 5 instrumentals from songs that's already out there. Not my own instrumentals, but like a Nas instrumental or Eric Sermon instrumental or T.I. instrumental or whatever, instrumentals from songs already known about and put out, and I just take that and I'm freestyling over it, not writing anything down or whatever, just feeling the beat and rapping and singing to it. So that's what this is.
Are there any great MCs out there now?
Yeah, there are. I mean, Kendrick
that's
Lamar.
comparable to the MCs of back in the day.
I think so.
Really?
Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and
I mean, they can really freestyle.
Well, see, freestyling today is so weird. Like the way what they call freestyle now, that's not really freestyle. Like
I know.
Even the rap battle thing that they have now, like they call that freestyling, but what they do is like they write it out, they remember it, then they go.
That's
and they
not
do
freestyling.
It. That's not freestyling.
It just seems that the wordplay was in the beautiful symmetry of the words and passing the mic.
Yeah.
I throw it back to you. It's just not there anymore. It's just like they don't have that kind of talent anymore.
They don't do like the passing the mic thing, but there are some people that still, really get down. They can really rap. Like I said, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. One guy I really like, Big Crit. He's from Mississippi. He has more of a country sound to his music, but he can really rap. There's a lot of them out there.
So how can people get in contact with True?
Really, they can Google my name, True 2RU3. Again, that's spelled 2, the number 2, RU, and then 3, the number 3. Just Google that. Everything will come up. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can search that same thing. You should see a picture of True Styling Revisited dropping 12/12/16. You should see a picture of that. YouTube, you can search that still, 2RU3. And my website, truemusic.com, which is 2RU3music.com. Yeah, pretty much if you Google me, you should find me. I'm not hard to find. Just type that on there, bam.
Well, listen, it's been a pleasure having you today, and perhaps we can have you back. I always like to spotlight young people who are really making a positive effort in our community. Thank you so much for coming by.
I really appreciate it.
No problem. True. And for the people, when is that going to be released?
The People's already out on the music videos on YouTube, but the new project I'm putting out is coming out tomorrow on Dat Piff at 6 p.m. And then I'll have the videos and all that on YouTube too, so you can see that.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Loretta Coleman is out today. She's narrating. She's serving as the host for the Big Matthew Mickens anniversary. So she'll be back next Sunday. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Urban Scene. I'm Don Frierson.